Hi Aries, welcome to your January 2020 reading for love and romance. We're going to see what's happening with Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and of course Venus. Cross watchers, I've not forgotten about you, my darlings. I am going to include you in this video. I know some of you are upset that I'm not making cross watcher videos anymore. Just time got too demanding, but I'm going to include cross watcher stuff in this video. All right, Aries, one more shuffle here. 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So your first card as we're heading off the month is we have 6 of Cups. Okay, there is someone returning for many of you. For some of you, perhaps maybe the role is reversed, then you might be thinking about reaching out to somebody. If you are a cross watcher and you're wondering if some Aries is going to come back into your life, the fact that 6 of Cups is coming up, that could very well be happening for you in January. There are some things, though, that I'm feeling energetically around the card, Aries. Those of you that you are in a relationship, the way that I'm feeling 6 of Cups for you all, is it feels to me like you're looking at the past. You're looking at the past like something was better. And I'm going to be straight up honest, Aries. I feel like some of you have moved on to a new relationship, but you're wondering if you did the right thing. Like, I feel some of you have like a buyer's remorse where you're just like, maybe I should have stayed with who I was with. Or maybe I gave up on that other person too soon. I think some of you are really kind of looking back over your shoulder, or you're feeling like, you know, things used to be better in this relationship and they're not good right now. And we need to be careful with 6 of Cups, because 6 of Cups, sometimes when we're in that energy, we might be remembering too much of the positive things, and we might not be remembering like the things that made us make the decision that we made. I'm not saying you guys can't have a happy reconciliation. I'm just saying if you don't go into it really real, then it's going to be like, you know, oh, now I remember why we're not together, right? So there needs to be kind of like, be real about it. Try to remember the whole aspect of it, so that at least you're going in knowing what's going to be something that needs to be worked on, instead of going into it blindly and being like, oh yeah, well yeah, now I remember why we're not together. I do feel there's a reconciliation. Those of you where there's been a lot of fighting in a relationship and you've been thinking about leaving, 6 of Cups makes me feel like there's going to be a making up. Like, you know, if you're just kind of, things are up in the air, I don't know what's going to happen. 6 of Cups makes me feel like there's like, you know, this person wants to work it out. This person doesn't want to walk away from what's going on in the relationship. They might want to walk away from the problems, but it's like an olive branch. Somebody might be extending that olive branch, so to speak, or making up. Next we have here, my dears, we've got King of Wands. Oh, Aries. King of Wands is going to indicate a lot of passion, a lot of like physical energy, like the sexual energy kind of thing here. Sometimes in readings, depending on what's going on with the other cards, it feels to me, my dears, like it can be sometimes a third party situation. Okay. And I feel for a lot of you, this is going to be the case if you date men, or if you gravitate towards masculine energies, because we all have feminine and masculine energies. But this is someone with a masculine energy who's kind of coming into the mix, that for some of you in a relationship, you may be, you know, kind of, you know, I'm hearing don't fool yourself. I keep hearing, Aries, don't fool yourself, don't fool yourself, don't fool yourself. So if you are in a relationship and you think you're just going to be friends with this person, or and maybe it's not somebody returning. I think for some of you it's an ex coming back, or someone with unfinished business coming back. For some of you it could just be a friend. It could be somebody maybe that you've been hanging out with, or at work or something, that you're thinking, oh, they're kind of cute. But I'm hearing, you know, don't fool yourself, because you might think that you're just going to be able to hang out with this person and nothing is going to happen. And before you know it, bow, bam, boom, you know, like, what are you going to do? I do feel, Aries, you guys, I'm feeling like a temptation vibe here with this. I feel some of you are dealing with this person being kind of persistent as well. This is fire energy, Aries. This could be you for some of you. This is just like you kind of being in your fire energy. But this feels to me like a love affair, okay? Not necessarily the romance of a lifetime, but like maybe like a love affair, where there's a strong kind of chemistry, connection, lover's vibe. Gosh, I really do feel though that someone, and the roles can be reversed, somebody is just like, I really messed up, I really wish we could have this relationship back. And they're being very persistent, very, very persistent. The roles can reverse, especially since we have a lot of cross watchers that come into the videos, and we have a lot of different scenarios. It's a general reading. The videos are for many people. They're not focused on just one person. We can't say every single Aries is having the same exact experience. But I really feel someone is sorry. Someone wants another chance. Someone is just really, really filled with desire here. Really filled with desire. We have 9 of Swords, so this is anxiety. This is stress. Some of you are feeling very guilty because you're feeling very tempted by this other person. Some of you are wondering, did I make the right decision? 9 of Swords is a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights. I think somebody is losing sleep over a lot of you, Aries. And again, it can be roles reversed. Aries might be losing sleep over somebody else. Cross watcher, if you feel that, some Aries hurt you and they're not sorry about it, this could indicate for you, as a message for you, that no, there is kind of remorse, or there is just kind of like, man, I really wish I could have taken that back, or I really wish things would have ended differently. You want to be careful with the 9 of Swords energy, though, because I feel like, Aries, you guys have a really big decision coming up. And I really feel some of you are being very tempted by a person. Whether you're in a relationship and somebody's coming in and you're tempted by them, or you're single and you're kind of on the fence about this person, but they're being kind of persistent. With that 6 of Cups, it might be telling you that this person is going to be the same old, same old. Even if it's a new person, they're returning with a familiar energy. And if you don't like the past energy, and something might be telling you, I don't know, you got to listen to your gut. The thing with the 9 of Swords is that when we're tired, we're stressed, we have all this anxiety, we're not sleeping enough, it's really difficult to make clear decisions, to make good decisions when we're not rested. And I feel you have some big decisions to make ahead of you, and I feel like Spirit is saying you need to make sure you're getting enough rest. You also need to realize that you can't control everything. You simply can't, right? People are going to make the decisions that they're going to make. Somebody told me not that long ago they were really annoyed with a girlfriend of a friend of mine who was complaining that she was really upset that he wouldn't quit smoking no matter what she told him. And I was like, well, you don't have control over that. You can't control if somebody decides to smoke or not. You don't have control over if somebody is going to fall in love with you or not. You don't have control over if somebody is going to cheat on you or not. It's unfortunate, and you shouldn't tolerate things like people cheating on you. You shouldn't tolerate people lying to you, but you need to take that burden off your shoulders. It's not your fault. Like, you can't keep jumping through hoops for somebody so that they don't do something. They're going to do it or they're not going to do it, right? Something like smoking, maybe you got to decide, okay, can I put up with that or no? But something like cheating or lying, there's no hoops you can jump over to change that, right? It's just like, well, this person's a cheater, it's not my fault, that's their problem, and I'm not going to deal with a cheater. You have to stop internalizing it. You have to stop blaming yourself for it. It's not your fault if somebody is, into you or not. It's not your fault if somebody's being faithful or not. I feel, Aries, you're blaming yourself a lot. That's the one thing about Aries. You guys are very, very driven. You're very motivated. Like, if something happens, you don't just sit on your butt. You get up and you try to make change. But in your love life right now, you might be trying to control something that's not up. It's not your problem. It's not your issue. And you got to let it go. You got to surrender it. You got to give it to your higher power. Okay? And just say, here's what my concern is. It's out of my control. Please show me what I need to be shown. Please, bring out what needs to be brought out, or, just help things along and help me get what I need to get from this relationship, or learn from this relationship, or grow, or bring the right person in. You're putting way too much pressure on yourself, Aries, about the relationship. And some of you are beating yourself up about being tempted by somebody else. You got to understand something. Being tempted by somebody and acting on it is two completely different things. You're not a terrible person because you have a crush on somebody, right? It happens. So this is something that you need to let go and see, okay, what can I do about this? What are some ways that I can stay faithful? Or what are some ways that I can talk to my partner and maybe not tell them I have a crush on somebody else, but maybe tell them like what I feel the relationship is missing, okay? But do it without judging yourself. You're putting way too much pressure on yourself. You got to stop beating yourself up. Even for those of you where you felt like you walked away from a relationship and you're regretting it and you're looking over your shoulder, I really feel strongly there's still a bond there. I really feel strongly that even if you really messed up, right? Or even if you said things to this person like, we're never going to be together again, and now you're like, man, I really wish I wasn't so hard on them. I feel there's still hope. I really do. Again, these are general readings, so keep this in mind. You may need a private reading to figure out what's happening in your specific situation. But overall energy around Aries, I feel a lot of longing. I feel a lot of passion. I feel a lot of like woulda, shoulda, coulda. And you just got to stop beating yourself up about it, Aries. You have to stop beating yourself up about it. Next here, my darlings, we have 10 of Cups. So this is coming in as reassurance that this is where you're headed. You're headed towards this love. This is what you want. You're wanting something real. You're wanting something, all factors: emotional intimacy, financial abundance, true love, comfortable home, feeling of purpose. You're wanting to just have everything, right? And 10 of Cups is saying you're headed towards that. You're aligning with that energy. That's one thing with King of Wands is, I will say this, King of Wands is an energy a lot of the times when he shows up in love readings for me. It might be different for you guys because you guys are a fire sign, so it's showing up in your reading. But if I'm not dealing with a fire sign and I get King of Wands, sometimes it tells me, like I said, it could be a third party situation, somebody coming in and being tempting, or just someone that maybe wants a relationship with you. They're not like wham bam thank you ma'am or wham bam thank you man. It's not like a one and done. There's a relationship, but it's someone that's very independent, usually somebody who is very focused on their goals and their dreams, and they may even be a loyal lover, or a faithful lover, but it doesn't always transition into like, a traditional marriage or like a legal marriage or living together. It's more of a lover, like a longtime lover, confidant, companion kind of thing. And so for some of you, it could just be where you're feeling kind of torn up because you may really like somebody, but you're like, I don't think they're going to give me that traditional life. I don't think they're going to give me, that picket fence, the white picket fence and the 2 kids, or like the whatever, or settling down, or like, planning for retirement together. Like, you may feel somebody's being a little too impulsive, right? But you still have feelings, you still have emotions. The fact that you're feeling this way is actually kind of good, because Spirit is saying that you're aware of what you want, you're aware of what your desire is, and that's going to help you manifest it. I just heard no more bad boys, and it could be no more bad girls as well, bad boys, bad girls. I just think some of you maybe are kind of feeling like there's a pull or there's a desire for like the bad one, right? Or like the rebellious one, or something, I don't know, unconventional. And maybe some of you feel like you walked away from a good thing for a bad boy or bad girl, or maybe you're a cross watcher and Aries walked away from you for a bad boy or bad girl, and you would have given them that commitment. If that's the case, somebody is seeing it. Whoever walked away from a good person for something, you know, racy or quote unquote exciting, there's regret. Okay. And if it's just you like feeling like you gotta walk away, like you're realizing, I really like this person and we have a lot of fun together, but I want that 10 of Cups. That's what you're gravitating towards. So don't feel sad if you have the longing for that, because the longing for that will help you manifest it, as long as you're able to take that longing and focus it as, this is what I want and this is what I'm gonna have, instead of thinking about it as like, here's what I don't have and I'm never gonna have it and it's so far away from me. If you do that, then you're pushing it away, right? But if you can take it and point it in the right direction, it's gonna help you align with that energy, that commitment, that happiness, that fulfillment. Next we have here, Aries, 3 of Pentacles. Okay, 3 of Pentacles for me in a love reading, it says that no final decisions have been made, but it looks good and it's promising and there's a lot in common. There's a good foundation and you all can work towards it to make it happen. You all can work towards it to kind of succeed here, but it's not going to be a relationship that moves overnight. Like it's going to be kind of slow going, you know, being very cautious, trying to make sure you're making the right decision, trying to make sure you guys are on the same page about things. I feel for some of you, this is so very, you know, just kind of coming out of nowhere. But I found that when I receive messages like this in the general, they end up being very specific for somebody. I feel for some of you, there's an engagement coming in April. Like you were waiting for it. You thought that it was going to happen in like maybe over the holidays or like New Year's, and it didn't happen. And for some reason, I feel like it's coming in April. There's going to be a proposal in April. But you guys are going to really, really take your time. Like this would be a very long engagement. I think there's a lot of concern here, a lot of anxiety about the future, a lot of anxiety also about just kind of like making sure that problems aren't going to resurface. I just feel it's a relationship where there's been issues. There's been issues. Maybe there has been infidelity in the past and like they're really working towards the relationship and they're very afraid that they're going to get cheated on, or you're very afraid you're going to get cheated on. But there's this desire to make it work. There's this desire to just kind of try to build on the relationship. A lot of the times too, when I see 3 of Pentacles in a love situation, especially a couple that's been together a while, it can indicate that you might feel like, you know what, we need to bring in some outside help. So there may be a situation for some of you where you're looking into like marriage counseling or relationship counseling, or just bringing in some kind of relationship coach. I think some of you that you've been single for a really long time, you're really ready to get out there again. You're kind of longing for that 10 of Cups. And I feel for some of you, the 3 of Pentacles is like you are reaching out and you're doing a lot of work on yourself to make sure that you don't end up like repeating you know, negative relationship cycles maybe you saw growing up. You might be working with a life coach or relationship coach or therapist. But I feel, Aries, like you're in this energy where you're like, you're not playing around with your love life. You're like, you don't want to take risks. One moment. Sorry about that, Aries. I'm just gonna say this. Those of you that you watch my readings, you know that when there's interruptions, I take it as like a message for the reading. And I think because of the interruption we just had, some of you might be getting a gift. We talked about a reconciliation or feeling really bad about something. And I feel, Aries, some of you might have someone that give you something. The reason why I say this is the phone call was from a good friend of mine who is an Aries moon, all right? So she calls me while I'm doing the Aries reading. And she surprised me. She came by and she gave me a present. How pretty is that? Isn't it beautiful? So I think, guys, I think somebody might be surprising you in some way. I just got a surprise during your reading. And Aries, I think that might be a sign for some of you that you're going to get a surprise in January. So fingers crossed. I think for some of you, someone feels really bad and wants to make it up, or if you're feeling bad about something, you may be making it up to someone by you know, a kind little gesture or gift of some kind. Okay, Aries? I thank you so very much, guys, for watching. Be sure to watch your moon sign and rising sign. Sometimes a lot of people like to watch their Venus sign when it comes to love. If you don't know your signs, you can go to cafeastrology.com and look it up. It just asks you for your info, and then it'll tell you. It's free. It takes like 2 seconds, and I need to clarify this. I don't make any money from anybody going to cafeastrology.com. They have no idea who I am, okay? And it's a free website. So people got really offended the first few times I mentioned them. They thought that I was trying to make money off of the viewers. I don't get anything by you guys going to Cafe Astrology. So it's just free and easy to use. Weekly forecasts, don't forget to watch them, because weekly forecast is about, like, you know, career, spirituality, finances, you know, manifesting, all the other important parts of life. So make sure you watch the weekly readings as well on my channel. And if you would like a private reading, you can click on the Calendly link in the description of the video, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Thanks so very much for watching, Aries. I'm wishing you a wonderful month. Take care.